How are you partnering with businesses to help build this skills-based roadmap?
In our circumstance, our upskilling initiative is all aligned to a business strategy. And I think that's really what is critical, is that you understand what's the business imperative or the strategic priority that upskilling aligns to, and knowing that you've got senior leader sponsorship. And in our case, it's being driven through the business with HR business partner engagement and involvement, but it's truly business led. And I think it was one of the other folks on the line that said, change needs to happen all the way throughout the process. And it starts with aligning to our vision and our strategic priority and getting senior leadership buy-in. And what are those key messages that we want our employees to understand about why upskilling is so important?
Can someone share with me how you're going about linking your learning to business outcomes?
Because I think we've already had the answer through the number of contributions we've heard. We've talked about venturing outside of HR. We've talked about aligning ourselves with this skills piece, with the overall business strategy. And we've mentioned the Microsoft piece. And the one missing thing in this conversation, from my point of view strategically, is business data. It is well and good to say we want to align ourselves with the business strategy. But what does that mean? The bottom line is that we need to have business data and performance metrics for which we can then identify which tools are missing, which skills are missing, and how do we attack those.
Are there others that have used this to be able to indicate performance has improved within their organizations?
One of the tools that we found is extremely helpful, not only to isolate key skills, but also identify the behaviors, the business analytics, and the actual desired state. And what we find the value of that is we do not have to, we work directly with the business and with people who are making the decisions that say, like you said, we need to improve sales strategy or market forecasting or whatever that desired state is. But what you do is in about 45 minutes, you can isolate, well, what are the actual business measures that you're using or KPIs that tell you you are achieving it or you aren't. Then you jump in and you have to isolate and validate the behaviors, because skills without behaviors to us does not deliver results.
I can share that, in my space, I work in a academic organization, and there's a manufacturing example. Basically, we were trying to scale up how we create curriculum materials and distribute them to schools across the state. That worked pretty well, and it just a tried and true technique. Now, the issue for me was finding the audience to understand what I was communicating in that time and motion study. How many resources, what skills did they need? Was it a good use of their skills? And that's really where I was focused. Are we using our highly paid, master's level teachers appropriately? And the answer is clearly not. It's very inefficient.
How have you used feedback loops to help inform your programs and improve your programs over time?
I take feedback at the end of every workshop or session, so that way I understand what the takeaway is by having each person communicate it. That always looks different than, the final, when they want to say the things they've been holding in. Luckily, things are recorded, so they can always go back and play back the tape and see that some comments really do just come from some personality dispositions, and some comments actually come from the professional personal development. And so if it's going to provide value and it's going to increase impact and move us in the direction we want to be, then we're going to take the feedback and we're going to do the iterations. But if it just seems like someone was just waiting to say what they needed to say, then it becomes a